Well, good morning. It's 7:39 on Friday the 25th. And it's new bike day again. I don't know how many new bike days it's been this year. It's only number 2. Anyway, I'll give you a clue what I've got. Hang on. So I had to buy a new helmet, obviously, because I had an adventure bike helmet, which was green. This is the helmet. The John Doe shirt I bought for the last bike, I've now sold it. So I have to go to a bike shop this morning to get a new jacket. But before that, it's breakfast time. This one, to stop me killing people. And these two, to make me feel better. Makes a piss yellow, but they're very good. Anyway, let's be amongst it. Well, it's now 8:49 and I'm sat outside Fowlers in Bristol. No, I'm not buying a Kawasaki, as you can see there. I've come here to get a jacket. It opens at 9. And there's something that's been on my mind, actually, with buying this next bike. And it's something a friend of mine keeps saying to me all the time. And it's user case. And I've never really considered it up until the last few motorbikes. That when I didn't have... Although I've always bought my wife's cars, so they've been technically my cars. Although I didn't have a car as an everyday thing, having a bike that filled all of the user cases I could possibly imagine is an actually easier thing to buy than a bike that fulfills just a fun application, I think. Because there's so many brands now where you're picking colour. Because there's no real bad bikes, not anymore. There's bikes that are less good or made out of monkey metal or whatever it happens to be, but everything is broadly okay. And I think that the trap I've always fallen into, because I've always, well, back in the day I had Harleys and all that sort of stuff, and I was brought up with my dad having Harleys and a lot of bikes of his one shows, that you're sort of instantly drawn to heavily customizable bikes or heavily customized bikes. So you're looking for bikes which are a platform for that customization. Which, at least for me, once, and I've always been the same, once I bought a bike that could be customised, it was my sole focus. I did it all as quickly as possible, and then when it's done, you go, well, I've done that now. And the sort of, all the constant endorphins of purchasing and doing what you believe to be cool is sort of finished. I guess it was some saying with the F900, getting it ready for that trip and really doing everything I could think of to that bike. It's going, well, it's done now. So hopefully, the next one, well, I'm not even going to say it. There's people going in the store. It said it doesn't open till 9. Right, let's have a look around. Right, and off we go. Although I've just had a phone call, well, I say just had a phone call, I had a phone call about an hour ago from the salesman saying the DVLA system for traders to register new bikes, yes, it's a new bike, not a second-hand one, maybe that's a clue, is down, so they can't register my bike. This is my new jacket, a Belstaff Roberts, maybe that's a clue, who knows. Anyway, it's a beautiful day out there. Perfect day for a ride, regardless of picking up bikes. Anyway, see you there. I have to put the camera like this so you can't see where I am. So, where am I? Right, well, the first thing I'll say is I've been into the dealership and the paperwork's all done and we're insured and ready to go. And I am at Cotswold BMW. And before anybody might suggest, no, I've not fallen out with Dick Lovett. They just happened to have the bike in stock, in the showroom, in the colour that I wanted. Now actually, if you went to a dealership today and asked to see if they had any in stock, they do not have any of this colourway in stock. It is a factory order, and it's just a coincidence that my second nearest dealership have a bike that I want. Now I will say the service from both Cotswold and Dick Lovett has always been fantastic, and this is my first bike I bought from these guys, and the experience has lived up to my expectation. I will show you around this dealership in a second, and in the car side, because I bought 2 cars from there. In fact, when my wife gets back from New Zealand, we've got a new mini convertible for her to pick up, which we bought from a lovely chap called Josh in there. Right, before we carry on with this video, I want to give a last sort of walk around on the R12 GS, because me getting rid of it really is no indictment on how that bike rides or handles, because it's a cracking machine. So with that, here she is. So if anybody wants a cracking deal, I'm sure this will be competitively priced, as it is now technically a used bike and has only done a few hundred miles. So to recap, I put on the unit garage crash bars, I put on the unit garage bash plate, it has the double take mirrors from my F900. The thing I want to make sure I mention, these Karoo Streets, I mentioned it before, are exceptionally good tyres. The best tyres I've had on an adventure bike, bar none, at least for my style of riding. Whatever that means. The gearbox is silky smooth, the engine is silky smooth, the riding position is so neutral, and that seat is mega comfy. If you have longer legs and don't want to overly vajazzle a bike, like perhaps I might want to, you cannot go wrong with this bike. It is phenomenal. Got a car stood right in the way, but no, really, really great bike. And it's like a Miami beachfront. Anyway, let's have a look inside and we'll show you around. In fact, that's where my F900 was on display. So there are some cool bikes in here. That's cool. We all know that's very cool. So this is the new section. They've got 2 companies. Yes, very nice. There's my new jacket. That's my salesman. Bit of a clothing section. Some nice clobber. Some enthusiastically priced clobber nonetheless, but nice nonetheless. Right, let's take you downstairs. And this is the used bikes. Ooh. And a lot of gear. And what I do love about this place, if you it's all underground, so you can come in when you drop your bike off for a service through there, and you're underground out the way, and you can get to the Mini and BMW side.
Oh, that's.
So there's the service guys. Let's have a look at that. That's a bit filthy, isn't it? GS, as you'd expect. And a seating area for a coffee. Very cool stuff. Now I will quickly show you the BMW side, because there is some cool stuff in there. Right, I'll see you over there. Right, just heading across the car park. A couple of new cars ready for their new owners. Very nice. Right, for those who haven't been here, it's worth coming just to see what they've got. Oh, there's that, which is beautiful. Barista pastries, all 3. A Z8. A Mini. There is That's cool. Right, let's quickly whiz upstairs and show you what's there. Whoa. Right, let's whiz around this showroom, show you what some cool clobber is. A lovely 3 Series convertible. 325i in absolute mint condition. An i8. An M5. An M3. A 1M, that's a cool car. Another M3. You know a garage loves its stuff when it's prepared to invest its money. Z8, the final edition of that. Lovely Z3 at 635 CSI and a 32i Sport. Right, and there's just 3 more bits over here, I think, and I'll quickly show you them. Annoyingly, I forgot all the paperwork for my old bike. So I've got to whiz home, go and get that and come straight back. Right, what have we got here? So a GP1 Mini, a GP2 Mini, and lastly, a GP3. With all that, I suppose I better show you what I bought. I will see you over the other side. Right, it's right in front of me, and I'm going to do this in a silly way. Bear with me. If your helmet's this colour, the best bike to probably get would be that. New for 2025, R1300R. Right, I've now got to whiz home on this and go and get the book and then come back, and we'll have a proper walk around a bit later on in the garage. Right, let's get some miles on this. Well, I thought I'd do my walk around here near my house because I'm on the way to the shops to buy some beer, and it's a pretty little spot. Cricket ground just there. So, when I could figure out where to put the camera on this bike and helmet, I'll do a proper riding video. But I've done 100 miles on this bike already. So put that in perspective. I had the R12 GS for 2 weeks and did 468. I've had this for 4 hours and I've done 100 miles. And the first thing I'll say about this bike is the engine for me makes more sense in this than it did in the GS, because this feels like a muscle bike. It's got the torque and the punch of a muscle bike, which I feel, for me at least, the GS didn't need. Anyway, let's have a quick look round, and yeah. So there she have it. I mean, frankly speaking, I couldn't have picked a better matching helmet if I fucking tried. So it's got a great stance, this bike, like particularly from the back. I love it. The black chrome on the exhaust and the headers is lovely. It really makes the headers sort of disappear into the bike, which I appreciate very much. That wheel is gorgeous. Shame it's hidden by a bit of an exhaust. Beautiful. They don't make a seat cowl in black, only in blue, which is a bit sad. What else can I tell you? I think this and the similar thing on the GS is such a good idea. Yeah, really pleased with that. I have just bought some bolts to whip this off because I'm not going to use it, and clamp the handlebar clamp down with original bolts. This is obviously the 719, so it's got all the blingy bits there. Hasn't got the 719 pegs, which I'm very pleased about. I'm going to whip that off, because I don't like it. But they don't do an exhaust hanger for it at the moment. You can get an exhaust hanger for the 1300 GS, but not this bike. But all in all, it's a proper looking bike. Yeah. It's a super comfy seat, relatively neutral riding position, a little bit over on your wrist, but I feel that you want that. And what it does feel like, the rake on the handlebars feels a lot more aggressive than it is because they're sort of set into the tank in a way. Yeah, all in all, I'm super impressed. Don't know if you can hear that, but there's a man cutting the grass behind that hedge. I do need to get a small number plate because that's the size of a house. Yes, there it is. Let's have one more whiz round. The engine is more refined on this compared to the original GS 1300. It's a bit quieter. I've heard they've changed the engine casing a bit to drown some of that sound out. The gearbox is still clunky. It's not as bad. It's sort of heavier on the way up than it is on the way down. But it's just right. It's just right looking. Anyway, I'm going to go get some beer and then I'll head back to the garage and have a wrap up. Well, that was a day. And beer obtained. Beavertown. With my wife away, this is the closest I'm getting. And it's 4:49. Oh. It's hot as balls out there, man. Anyway. The other week when I took the F900R for a blast, I think it was after I bought my R12. I was never going to buy an F900R. Not that it's not an amazing bike. But it was such a refreshing way to ride back on a naked bike than it was an adventure bike. And then that got me thinking I could fit my feet on the floor. It was a bit more fun. More of a psychological fun than a practical fun. I mean, they're all as fun as they need to be, right? And then I made my mind up on that Sunday. When was it? It was Sunday. 5 days ago. 6 days ago. I don't know, Sunday. Where I decided, right, that bike's got to go. And then a deal was done for this on Monday. Simply because this dealer, Cotswold, had one in the showroom. And like I said, you can't get one. You have to order it from the factory. It could have been Cotswold, it could have been Aberdeen. God, it wasn't Aberdeen, 'cause that's fucking miles away.